So since my last review of Hair of Istanbul a few months ago, I discovered issues that not only changed my mind about this clinic, but issues that might change your mind as well, and issues that actually might change the way you think about hair transplants, the way you plan your hair transplants completely. So since posting my last review on Hair of Istanbul a few months ago, people have been contacting me on this channel and through email, basically telling me their real experiences with Hair of Istanbul. Hair of Istanbul are really good at marketing. They have this massive Instagram with lots of pictures and results and spectacular hairlines, but I really wanted to see what's going on behind all that. What's really going on with real people who speak to Hair of Istanbul. And quite a lot of what people were telling me was completely different from the reality that the clinic posts on their Instagram and on their website. So to be completely fair, I did my own investigation. I went on Reddit forums and other forums on Facebook just to gather as much data as possible, and basically 4 issues kept coming up time and again. I'm now going to go through those issues one by one, and make sure you watch all the way to the end because the last issue is the one that really makes this video. If you missed that, you missed the video. So this is a screenshot of a WhatsApp conversation that somebody, one of the members, one of the people who post on the forum I'm on, posted this screen capture about their conversation with Hair of Istanbul. And this shows basically where they say that they perform, if you look up here, they say we perform 10 procedures in a day. And this is a snapshot of their calendar. Now, I mean, we all knew that a lot of clinics in Turkey do more than 1 procedure per day. But 10 is the most I have ever seen in any clinic. And I don't think they have 10 surgeons. There's no way they have 10 surgeons doing 10 different procedures in a day. This is going to be 1 or max 2 surgeons supervising an army of technicians and nurses doing the procedures. Literally patients in clients in different rooms at the same time. So, and this is, I believe, a screenshot of the calendar back in November last year. So this is not, years ago. This is very, very recent. There you go. That's the first issue. They do a huge amount of surgeries per day. I've not known a clinic that does this much. So basically, Hair of Istanbul is what we call a hair mill. This is basically a place where they do multiple procedures per day. Now, I'm not saying that clinics that do multiple surgeries per day can't do good hair transplants. That's completely false, because they do. Lots of clinics use this model and churn out really good results. But there's a limit to everything. I think 10 personally is too much. The other issue with doing so many surgeries per day is you have no idea which team or which technician or which nurse are doing the best work, because I'm sure no clinic does 100%, has a 100% success rate. So if you go up to Hair of Istanbul, you're not really sure who's doing the really good work, who are the really best technicians, and who are the average ones. That's another issue with doing so many surgeries per day. Now let's move on to the second issue, and that is to do with cost. This is another poster who shared his story. Now he hasn't had a hair transplant yet, so he had a price quote from Hair of Istanbul, and they told him $6,000. He went to another clinic in Turkey, Cynic is another clinic, and they told him, remember, this is exactly the same person, the same hair type, everything is the same. They told him $2,400. So there's a massive difference of $3,600, which is crazy. And rightly he was asking why such a big difference, and there's really no logical answer really. So here is the actual problem with this cost. Obviously it's very expensive, and the reason people go to Turkey and go to hair mills like Hair of Istanbul is to save on cost. Get a decent hair transplant for a fraction of the cost you would pay in Europe and North America. If they become as expensive as those other places, then nobody's going to go there, because with those expensive places you have the full attention of the surgeon. They probably do maximum one procedure per day. You'll be the only patient there most likely. You have basically a better experience. So why pay a higher price for a slightly worse experience when you can have a better experience for roughly the same price? It makes no sense. And this is my personal opinion. The reason they've become very expensive is because they have a flood of customers. Their marketing is really good. I can't fault them. They are one of the best marketed clinics in Turkey and anywhere in the world, in my opinion. So they have a flood of customers coming to them. They can pick and choose, and they can slightly take the Michael with the prices. So they can basically charge whatever they like. But trust me, when the supply dries up, or when customers start going elsewhere, then they will reduce their prices. I can guarantee you that. By the way, if you are thinking of going to Hair of Istanbul or another clinic and you are still undecided, you've changed your mind or something, you're not sure, then why not contact me and I'll help you through the process with a consultation. It's not free. It's not. If you're expecting a free consultation, don't contact me, because this is a paid service, and to be honest, if you're going to pay so many thousands of dollars for a hair transplant, you can afford paying a little bit for somebody who's going to guide you, who's going to make sure your transplant is a success. I'll leave the details in the description below, or you can leave a comment below this video and I'll reply with more detail. Now let's move on to the third issue, and that is to do with their professionalism and some of the attitudes of some of the staff that I've had reports from. This is a comment from somebody who watches my channel, and he left a comment on one of my videos. I'm not going to reveal the video, and I'm not going to reveal who he is through his profile name, and this was only done in the last few days. So he says about his experience with Hair of Istanbul. I think he spoke to them on the phone or WhatsApp. He says, I'm just going to read the first few lines. He says, they're very rude in their consultations. If you're not in your 20s with only a small amount of balding, they easily reject you, are very rude about it, and they go for minimal balding and thick donor hair, meaning that they only take on clients who have minimal balding, as in minimal hair loss, with really thick donor hair, as in clients who have the highest chance of success. And here, I think when he discussed his issue with them, they told him, you know, in quotes, you can go to one of the other butchers, meaning one of the other clinics in Turkey, which is really not. I mean, I have no reason to disbelieve this guy, and if this is what they said, it's not a very nice thing to say to a potential client. By the way, this is only one of the very similar reports I've had that roughly match this kind of account. And some of you might say, oh, this could be a fake person. It could be somebody from another clinic trying to knock them down or something. Well, not really, because I think this looks genuine. It's so detailed, it's so precise. The language and the quotes they use, you can't really make it up. If it was a fake comment from some other clinic or something, or somebody trying to harm Hair of Istanbul, they could have just said, oh, this is a rubbish clinic, go to this clinic instead. Usually they a couple of lines, that's it. But this person has gone to all that efforts, put all those details down. Either they're the most creative writer on the planet, or it's a genuine account. And I think it's a genuine account. Now on to the fourth issue, which is overharvesting. This gentleman shared some pictures. He's already had a procedure with Hair of Istanbul. He's had 4,700 grafts done about 4.5 months ago, and he was just sharing his progress. He says that his progress has been slow, and fair enough, 4.5 months is just way too early. But the interesting bit from this guy's story is this bit here that I've highlighted in orange. And he says, it seems like that my donor area has been over-harvested, one side more than the other. The back of my head seems to be okay. So he thinks that he shared some pictures, but the pictures are not great, so I can't really see what he means by, one side is better than the other. But he's saying that his donor area has been over-harvested on the sides of his head. So overharvesting is basically when a clinic or a surgeon takes more hair grafts than is required. So for example, if you only needed 2,000 grafts to do the job, they take out 4,000 just to give you extra density and make your hair look extra thick. So why is overharvesting so devastating? The first reason is the whole point that we see surgeons who are skilled is to make the hair as thick and as aesthetically pleasing as possible using the fewest number of grafts. Surely this is the skill that we're paying for. And the second reason, and the more devastating reason, is that if your donor hair is overharvested and you end up needing further hair transplants in the future, you have no donor hair left. Majority of people, especially people who have their hair transplants quite young, will end up needing a second procedure because hair loss progresses throughout your 30s, most likely in your 40s and beyond. So unless you're taking medications, then you will end up needing a second procedure. So if a clinic completely destroys your donor hair and just takes everything out on the first attempt, then you've got nowhere to go. So in conclusion, given this information, would I still recommend Hair of Istanbul? The answer is no. By the way, to Hair of Istanbul, I've emailed you before this video went out and I've given you an opportunity to put your side of the story, but you've ignored my emails. But if you change your mind and you want to email me to put your side of the story, I'll still happily make an account, possibly make a future video to put your side of the story.